Welcome, employees of Nintendo Australia. My name is Graham Hope, and I am a managerial psychology consultant with PCC, the psychological consulting company. I understand you have been undergoing a few issues, and hope to rectify these before the release of your newest product, the Nintendo Switch. I hope that this workshop will help you understand the root of some of your issues, and through this, help you to move forward successfully. Through working together we can create an environment in which your team can flourish and the Switch's release can be a success. I look forward to working with you all. I believe that the three key contributors to the failure of Wii U in Australia are: there is a high level of unresolved conflict among team members, perhaps somewhat fostered by, or causing a lack of team culture, which I believe is your second problem. Thirdly, I believe there are a number of motivational issues. These have led to an uninspired marketing strategy and a lack of motivation to push both marketing and sales. This afternoon, I will focus on the interactions between you as team members, and how these can be resolved to create a stronger team with shared goals which is able to face the challenge of this release successfully. Adaptive evolutionary change is necessary. Your company's structure is obviously in place and generally successful, however it doesn't seem to be functioning properly. The Switch of success will rely on passion and innovation, which rely on everyone in this team being happy in their workplace, having a sense of purpose and belonging. I want to empower you as employees, to give you as a team more autonomy, accountability and self-determination. You are part of a team. It is important to understand the personalities of your team members, their motivations, strengths and weaknesses, in order for you to form a cohesive group. A successful team needs people with a range of personalities, passions and perspectives, and that's what we have here, the building blocks for a successful team. Nancy, we'll begin with you. You fit into the Belbin team role category of monitor evaluator, a fair and logical observer, able to detach herself from bias. However, you are an introvert who avoids conflict. This means that you cannot fully use your strengths to help the team. In terms of Molly and Liam's conflict, while you could see both sides of the argument, you were uncomfortable with mediating, something you had the strengths and abilities to do. Try confiding in your managing director if you are uncomfortable with taking direct action. Frank, you are a people-oriented worker, perhaps a coordinator or a team worker. You are confident, stable and mature, and recognize the strengths of the other team members, such as Molly's usual level-headedness. However, you're also unafraid to face and try to smooth over conflict. I suggest you use your strengths to lead this team to success. I would also suggest that you work on your communication. However, you were surprised that the Wii U hadn't done well. However, some simple communication could have informed you of its failure, and you could have stepped in and helped the team focus and move forward. Molly, you are a finisher or an implementer. While you may be accused of being a perfectionist, your attention to detail, loyalty to the company, composure and drive to take on jobs others won't complete properly should be commended. You set high standards for yourself and expect others to stand by them, and become frustrated when they do not and you have to pick up the slack. Your motivation for working hard is strongly connected to your desire to please, and is deeply personal to you. You find communicating with Liam impossible, as you do not believe he will listen to you. As the youngest, from a different cultural background, and as one of only 2 women in management positions, I can imagine that sometimes you feel isolated and powerless to really stand up for yourself to make yourself heard. Liam, you are a loss, and thus a risk-aversive person, and so you've stuck to marketing to Nintendo America and Japan's specifications. However, an essential component of creativity, which is central to successful marketing, is not being afraid to fail. Your motivation is monetary. You don't believe you should work harder than you need to without reward. You're confident and extroverted, however, and have the potential to really push yourself. The risk of losing your job might provide some motivation for this. You are also a classic example of Hyder's attribution theory. You need to take some responsibility for the we use failure. While you may explain Molly's behavior and shortcomings as due to her personality, your own shortcomings, and your failure in marketing the Wii U, you chose to blame on Nintendo of Japan and America and their unoriginal marketing strategies. Now we understand your personalities and abilities, the social context which has contributed to your issues, and how the context and your personalities have contributed to your reactions to the issues the team has been facing. We can move forward and enact positive change. I think first it is important to understand that while at the moment your conflict is dysfunctional and reducing your effectiveness, we can harness it into a functional conflict in the form of positive and productive energy which can support the goals of the team and improve its performance. Mediating and then harnessing your differences is a two-step process, the first of which should be done over the next few weeks and the second which should be ongoing. The equity theory best explains Molly's frustrations. We compare the effort we invest in a job with the reward we receive. Molly has to rely on Liam's success in marketing in order to be successful in her own job in sales, and thus obtain the reward of success. However, with the Wii U, Liam didn't put in 100%, something which he admitted himself. Molly then feels as though she must put in extra work for the same outcome. This is negative inequality and makes her feel unfairly treated, especially as it appears that there are no consequences for Liam's behavior, and she receives no reward for her extra work. According to the interactionist view of conflict, it is indicative of strong minds with independent thoughts, and is thus an opportunity for the company. If we can change the quality of your interactions to reflect your personal strengths, hopefully we will be able to encourage responsiveness and openness to one another and each other's ideas. Over the next few weeks I suggest that the company focuses on some supervised mediation in which you discuss and diffuse your issues, and creatively bounce your ideas back and forth. Through mediation, I hope that you will be able to examine how your conflict came about, and negotiate and workshop for the best outcome. You both have a lot to offer this company, let's make the most of that. I would like you to consider a conflict management rather than resolution plan of action. This should be established throughout the transformative mediation process, agreed upon by all members of the team, and utilized in the long-term future of the company. Secondly, I recommend you work on the relatedness and cohesiveness of your team. I will initially recommend you undertake some team-building exercises. Gottman's ratio says that in order to have a good relationship, you need at least 5 positive interactions for every bad one. Positive team-building exercises will improve bonds and thus increase the number of positive interactions you share with one another. I will suggest an intensive exercise in the next few weeks, and ongoing exercises every 2 to 3 months. I recommend each of you take the Myers-Briggs personality test. While these tests are, in truth, fairly problematic, they may give you some greater understanding of your team members. Please share your results and discuss them with your team. This will facilitate a greater sense of team spirit amongst you. Good synergy in groups tends to result in higher productivity. Let's harness this. What we need to acknowledge here is, regardless of your own personal motivations, you all want Nintendo to be successful. You care about this company, about keeping your jobs, and impressing your managers. You share a common objective, aligned with that of the organization. You should be striving towards this by cooperating, not disagreeing and being competitive. Your maintenance period, over the next few weeks, will allow you to focus your efforts on establishing cohesiveness and a common purpose. When the full details of the Switch are released, you will be properly equipped to face the task of releasing it as a team. Goal-setting theory involves the development of an action plan designed to motivate and guide a group toward a goal. These goals should be specific, challenging, reachable, and accepted by all members of the group, and will lead to higher performance levels and job satisfaction. By setting specific goals that you are all motivated to achieve, you have autonomy over a greater aspect of your job, and your cohesiveness as a group improves. This should all be completed before the full details of the switch are released so that you are ready for action. Tom will overlook your goals before marketing plans begin, so that he will be able to provide fortnightly feedback into your performance. I will also recommend an anonymous group feedback platform be set up, so that even those introverts among the group can express their feelings. Any issues will be workshopped in fortnightly sessions overseen by Tom, in which he also provides his own feedback. Motivation is driven by autonomy, mastery and purpose. Different things motivate different people. Molly, for instance, is motivated by her desire to please her managers. Liam believes he shouldn't take risks or work too hard if there is no extrinsic personal reward. Liam in particular has lost motivation to fulfill his role as head of marketing effectively. It is easier for us to attribute someone's poor behavior on their personality rather than the situation. While Liam's behavior frustrates Molly, and she may see it as a result of his negative traits, there is value in stepping back and looking at the situational aspects as well. Liam may be frustrated that he must market a product he doesn't believe in a way which is prescribed to him by Nintendo America and Japan. He has no opportunity for creativity or to display his own skills. Group goal setting will help. However, I will also be speaking to Tom about marketing objectives within the company. Success hinges on understanding the market and catering to it in creative ways. The Australian management team must implement a policy in which creativity can be expressed and team members can fulfill their roles effectively. We are reaching the end of our session. I will quickly summarize. Firstly, to reduce the impact of conflict, I will be recommending a month of supervised mediation and resolution of differences between Liam and Molly. Over the long term, continued transformative mediation will allow the two of you to use your differences to effectively transfer ideas and foster innovation and creativity in a functional way. I recommend that the team undertakes personality tests and discuss their strengths and weaknesses. Over the next month, set team goals to achieve your common targets, set boundaries and agree on your individual functions within your team to ensure that you can meet your targets effectively. I recommend you partake in tri-monthly team building exercises and participate in a fortnightly feedback loop both from Tom and anonymously from one another. Use this constructively to improve your work. And lastly, I will be discussing with Tom the necessity of changing marketing strategies in Australia to give Liam a little more autonomy and the whole team a bit more breathing room. And on an ongoing basis I will be ensuring that Tom keeps open channels of communication with you all to ensure that you are all experiencing satisfaction with your individual roles. I hope that this session has been helpful and that you have learned a little bit about yourselves and how you can do your part to ensure that the release of the Nintendo Switch is a success. Best of luck from myself and my colleagues at the psychological consulting company.